So when do you say usar? When is it better to use utilizar? And how on earth does another verb, llevar, completely change the game when you're just trying to talk about clothes? You know, if you've ever been stumped by this classic Spanish puzzle, you are absolutely in the right place. Let's get this all sorted out.
Okay, let's dive right in with the core question that trips up so many Spanish learners, even some pretty advanced speakers.
Ah, the big one. Usar or utilizar. I mean, they look almost identical, they feel almost identical, but understanding the subtle difference is one of those little things that can really elevate your Spanish from just good to, great. And we're going to solve it by starting with a real-world example.
Check this out. This is a fantastic question from a language learner. The sentence is, the name of the file utilized for this procedure is. Now, just notice the context here. It's formal, it's technical. That, my friends, is a huge clue. And as we're about to see, the learner's intuition to use utilizado here was absolutely spot on.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with the puzzle itself, then break down usar, utilizar, and that little wild card, llevar. After that, we'll talk about how to choose the right word in any situation and finish up with a little peek beyond the basics.
All right, first up is usar. The best way to think about this verb is as your all-purpose go-to tool for to use. It's your reliable, everyday default.
I mean, its meaning is just so direct. It mirrors the English word use almost perfectly. And that's what makes it the safe, natural, and most common choice in like 99% of everyday situations. Seriously, when in doubt, usar is almost always going to be fine. And this is a perfect example of what I mean. Her grandmother is learning to use the computer. You're going to hear usar all the time for everyday actions like this, whether it's involving tools, technology, or just about any object. It's simple, it's clear, and it's what people actually say.
Okay, so we've got usar down. Now let's meet its more sophisticated, more formal twin, utilizar. So if usar is your everyday hammer, think of utilizar as more of a specialized instrument, like a precision screwdriver. It's perfect for things like formal essays, academic papers, or scientific writing. It just carries this extra sense of purposefulness, of making something serve a really useful function.
You know, the best way to get a feel for the difference is to think about the English words use versus utilize. Right. You probably wouldn't tell a friend you're going to utilize a fork to eat your dinner. It just sounds a little strange, a little stiff. Well, that is the exact same feeling that utilizar has in a casual Spanish conversation. Okay, so you're probably feeling pretty good about usar versus utilizar. But just when you think you've got it, a plot twist arrives. What verbs you use when you're talking about using or wearing clothes? Now, here's the thing. Saying estoy usando for wearing clothes is grammatically correct. People will totally understand you. But there's another verb that just sounds so much more natural to native speakers, and it's the one they're almost always going to choose. And here's that difference in action. Both sentences mean I'm wearing a sweater, but saying llevo un chaleco is the smooth, natural, expert choice. It's just specialized for this job. And to really put it in perspective, if you said estoy utilizando un chaleco, that would be really weird. It would sound like you're using the sweater for something else, like, I don't know, to polish the floor? What's really fascinating here is that llevar is a true superverb in Spanish. I mean, look at this list. Beyond just wear, it can mean to carry something, to take someone somewhere, to manage a project, and even to talk about how much older you are than somebody else. It's an incredibly versatile and useful word. So, with these 3 different options on the table, how do you actually make the right call in the moment? Let's try to put it all together into a really simple guide. Okay, think of this as your mental flowchart. It's a simple 3-step check. Step 1. Ask yourself, what's the context? If it's formal or technical, think about utilizar. Step 2. What's the action? If it has anything to do with wearing, carrying, or taking, llevar is probably your best bet. And step 3. When in doubt, for pretty much any other general situation, usar is your safe, reliable friend. It's a great little shortcut to sounding way more natural. Okay, you have totally mastered the main verbs. So now let's go a little beyond the basics and look at a few related words that are going to really lock in your understanding. Now this one is really practical. The adjective form usado or usada is what you'll use to describe anything that isn't brand new. So think a used car, un coche usado, or a secondhand clothes, ropa usada.
But what about when you want to talk about the process of getting used to something? Now, this can be a little trap for English speakers because we use the word use in that phrase. But in Spanish, you need a totally different verb, the reflexive verb acostumbrarse. And finally, let's not forget the noun form, el uso. This is what you'll see for rules, instructions, and just talking about the general application of something. Just like in this sign, the use of cell phones is prohibited. So as we wrap this up, just think about your own Spanish conversations and writing. This whole journey from usar to utilizar to llevar really shows how a little bit of nuance can make a huge difference in how natural you sound. So the final question for you is, which of these verbs is going to be the most útil, the most useful for your Spanish right now?